Chain of events began at 11:30 a.m. Deerfield Beach. Police tried to stop the suspect for running a stop sign. Running a stop sign. So what do, ladies and gentlemen? The highways are bad enough out here without these dumb police officers killing people because of somebody running a stoplight. Now, when they finally got to his car, they did find some crack, okay? Big deal. But we have a dead woman because of this. And this could happen to you, it could happen to me, it could happen to Neil Rogers. You could be sitting at a light, and because these stupid cops are so macho, they see a guy run a stop sign, so they're going to kill people to get to this guy over a traffic violation, right? Asinine. And the woman is dead today because of it. Kendall.
Yes.
How are you?
Okay, Howard, this is Ron.
How are you?
You hit a sore subject when you did hot pursuits.
Oh, boy.
I go to work every morning at 3:15 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here I am on my way to the airport, and what do you think I hit today? A hot pursuit.
You're kidding.
I'm coming through a red light, and here comes Metro, Miami police, state troopers. Only a couple had their blinkers going, but they were chasing somebody. Well, I thought everything was clear, and guess who's going to be in the middle? Good old Ron.
Yep.
I go through the light, and here comes a cop car, almost broadsides me. The other one in back of him pulls me over. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Wants to cite me for interfering in a pursuit. And here I am going to work.
Did you have a green light?
I had a green light.
I'd tell him what he could do with his
what he could
citation.
Do with it.
Yeah.
No? And that I'm fully, wholeheartedly agree with you. These cops are just macho, and they just do not think of the public on the outside.
If he was in such hot pursuit, and this criminal that they were chasing, who probably ran a red light, is such a wanted individual, what the hell business does he have stopping and pulling you over if he's involved in a hot pursuit?
Right, but I'll tell you, if you were on Killian and 874 this morning at 3:30, there was 25 police cars there. But it looked like the whole state of Florida was there.
You sure they weren't filming Miami Vice?
Oh, no. And they were out there with their guns and everything. It'll probably be on news. I have no idea because I had to get to the airport.
Okay, well, I appreciate your input, and the hot pursuit thing, in my opinion, is just it's nothing but a threat to the lives of you and me and every other innocent person that is within miles of where this thing's going on, and there's no excuse for it.
But,
okay, good to talk to you. Thank you very much. I don't want to sound like I'm anti-cop, which I am. I'm as far from anti-cop as you can get. I have, the greatest admiration in the world for the guys in the squad cars, and the guys out on the beat, whatever. Fort Lauderdale.
Hello?
Yes.
I don't know how to put this to you, but I'm a police officer in Broward County. I like your show. I like WINZ. I read the story this morning in the paper, and the only thing that I could offer as far as the incident was that the supervision, it was a supervision problem because the road supervisor should have called off the chase the first time the speeds became excessive. We have a policy here where if the chase, if the speeds get excessive in any kind of a chase, we call it off and we just break it off and let it go, unless it's a felony type situation where hold on a second.
Okay. He's a police officer and he's busy, so we'll give him that. And I didn't mean to insult all the police departments in Broward County.
Yeah, I'm on duty right now. I've got to go to a call, but...
Okay, listen, I appreciate it.
I had some input on it that we all don't do things like that, and
I'm glad to hear that, and I didn't mean to impugn all of them, all police officers, okay?
Okay, have a good day.
Thank you. But this thing really bugs me because it happens time and time again, and it is so senseless, and there's no reason for it. I mean, if this guy, if a couple of cops are sitting there in the squad car, or a cop is sitting there in a squad car, and he sees a vehicle, for instance, that is wanted. Maybe it's stolen, or maybe there was an armed robbery and the vehicle fits the description of the suspect, or something, but not running a stoplight. And I'm against hot pursuit anyway, unless it is a person, like a guy off the top 10 FBI most wanted list or something like that. And then I even have reservations about it, because it is always the innocent bystander that is going to get it. And is that worth it? Is it worth catching a suspect, knowing that he's probably going to get off anyway with the way our justice system works, and killing innocent people in the process? Of course it is not. It makes no sense whatsoever. 624-9400 in Dade, 524-9400 if you're in Broward. Have I talked that long and we haven't taken a break yet? All right, let me shut my mouth. We'll break right now. We'll be right back to the phone calls. I'm Stan Major on WINZ. Let's go to Miami. Miami.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, how you doing?
Okay.
I've been listening to this whole discussion, and I don't think the problem is whether we have a gun concealed or we have a gun exposed. The problem we have here is the type of characters we have walking our streets and driving our roads. It comes to the point where you're even afraid to blow your horn if the guy doesn't take off when the light changes. And the question is, what's going to happen with all these people walking around with guns who are so ready to just pop off and blast off at everybody? That's the issue, I think.
Well, that's been going on for a long time.
I know. I mean, we're not disputing that, but that really is what is creating the fear among people, not the question whether I'm carrying a gun or not carrying a gun. The issue is how do we feel safe on the streets?
I don't think you can under the current justice, so-called injustice system that we have, which will slap somebody's wrist for blowing somebody away, in a heated dispute, a non-premeditated type thing.
Well, then,
and all the plea bargaining and everything that gets somebody. You realize that in this day and age, you can actually murder somebody. I mean, I still call it murder, but it can be cut down to manslaughter and almost to a probationary thing if you plea bargain and play your cards right. You can take a human life in this country and basically get away with it.
Well, I agree with you.
And that is more the problem, I think.
That's more our problem. Our problem is, what are we going to do? Not worry about whether the man is carrying a gun, whether I'm carrying a gun or not, although I personally probably will never carry a gun. But the problem is, how do we make our streets safe for people so that we don't have to have fear when we walk out of the house?
Okay, good to talk to you. There's another thing that I should have brought up with Bob Corbin, which is his favorite topic, which I didn't, and that is that in the state of Arizona, they have not put anybody to death. They have a death penalty, but they have not put anybody to death for, they have never reinstituted the death penalty as they did here in the state of Florida. It is still going through the courts, and it's going through all this tedious and elongated process, and they have more people, I believe, on death row in Arizona prisons than any other state, regardless of size. And they have one guy out there who, and this is the most asinine thing I've ever heard of in my life, who has been given not one but 2 death penalties. As incredible as that may sound, there's a guy on death row in Arizona who has been sentenced to death twice for 2 separate incidents. And he has stated in print that he wants to die. He has begged them to put him to death. And they still can't do it because, boy, our justice system today is so careful. I mean, it is just... And Corbin has one entire wall of his office with a chart which stretches the length of that wall, which is the appeal process before you can put somebody to death in the state of Arizona. And they haven't quite reached that point yet. And that would probably have a little bit to do with increased murders and crime statistics out there because, you know, Bob Graham was signing death sentences every other day when he was governor in Florida, and they haven't put anybody to death in the state of Arizona for, 20 years, something like that. So that might throw those statistics off just a little bit. Hollywood.
Yes, how you doing, Stan?
Okay.
That last caller had a very, very good point, and I'm in agreement with him. First of all, it all boils down to, okay, I work for the Broward County court system, and I'll tell you one thing, there's absolutely no jail space left. That's why you have so many criminals walking around the streets. Okay? What you need now, first of all, the tax that was just probably going to be repealed, the services tax, this money would have gone towards building jails, supposedly. But everybody bitched and moaned about it, and that's gone now. Personally, I was in favor for it, you know, because I work for the county, and I could see that the money would have been put to good use.
Okay, but don't shed tears over that because what's going to happen is you're going to end up with more money because the tax that they're going to end up instituting, the sales tax or whatever it is going to be more than the one they're getting rid of.
Let's face it, you know,
which is typical of politicians.
We don't need to have this revolving door thing with people back out on the streets. You know, this is the whole point over here. This is why it's time we're taking matters into our own hands now with the guns. You know?
All right, now, let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
Isn't it correct that Stan Major would be safer on the streets of Broward County and in his car if he had a handgun because of these people?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with you 100%. I don't know if I'm going to carry one. You know, I have a hot temper myself. I'm one of those kind of people that give somebody the finger at a red light or something like that. Or, you know, if they piss me off or something. I'm trying to learn to control my stress.
Yeah, that comes with age. That's called maturing. Okay?
Not that I'm immature. No, it's just that I just have a hot temper.
No, I'm not saying you're immature. I'm saying that there's a certain maturation process there. You get to the point where you understand that there are minor difficulties in life and there are major difficulties, and a guy getting in a hassle at a red light is a very insignificant part of your life. Don't turn that minor thing into a major problem for yourself. You understand?
Yeah. You
will eventually understand that and turn around and smile and not worry about it and go about your life.
So you do agree with me, though, that we're lacking a lot of necessities down here?
I think there are a lot of things in the state of Florida that are going to result in people getting killed, but I don't believe one of them is going to be the new law.
Let me ask you this question, though, Stan. Real quick, don't you think that we need more jails down here? Honestly.
I don't really know. I haven't been back that long to really be able to comment on that.
No?
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. We'll take another break, and we'll continue with your calls at 624-9400 in Dade, 524-9400 in Broward. I'm Stan Major on WINZ. Miami.
Hello.
Yeah.
I've been carrying one for about 4 years on my hip inside my shop.
Really?
Yeah, 57 Magnum.
Have you been held up?
No.
Wonder why?
I don't know. I never had any occasion, but I wouldn't hesitate to use it if they wanted to hold me up. I'm not in the best part of town. My shop's in Overtown. And,
now, have you ever pulled out your gun and shot somebody at a red light?
Nope. I carried my car in a bag locked up, zipped up and stuff. It's legal in the car. But I used to have to come to work, strap it on. If I had to go out, I had to take it off or take the gun out of the holster and lock it up in my office and go someplace, come back and get it out again.
Well, now you don't have to do that anymore. You can carry it.
And I went and got a sandwich and went down to a store and picked up some stuff from my shop and came back, and nobody said a word.
And nobody tried to rip you off on the street?
Oh, no.
Good for you. Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, don't shoot a Miami Herald reporter.
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, Stan.
Again, for those of you down at the Miami Herald who would like to get the truth about this crack in the Florida gun law, where you say, the sky is falling, I invite you to call the Attorney General of the state of Arizona, who we had on the first 30 minutes of this show, first 20 minutes. His name is Robert Corbin, Bob Corbin, Corbin. He's a very good guy. I challenge you to call out there and get the real story, get the other side of the story from this liberal trash written by this Mike Wilson in last Sunday's Tropic. Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, sir. How are you today?
Okay.
Well, one thing about this gun law, it wasn't written by the National Riflemen's Association. It was written by some sensible individuals in Tallahassee. I think there's some up there.
We really found some, did we?
Maybe. But nevertheless, a law that covers the entire state of Florida is really quite important. One of the major reasons is the court system. Now, Broward County has the most stringent gun laws in Florida. And the court system has, really, I've known 4 people that have gone through the court system in Broward County for possession of firearms. These people were honest, no criminal record, and they went literally through hell as felonious criminals through our court system. And as I say, this is really tying up our court system with people that main crime is the fact that they don't know the entirety of the law. And, of course, it does change from year to year and county to county.
Yeah, I saw an article just the other day where they were trying to get a guy, I think, that was involved in an accident, a vehicle accident, and they somehow they didn't have enough proof to get him on a DWI. They didn't have enough to get him on causing the accident for other reasons. But they arrested him for having a handgun in the car.
Oh,
that's the only thing that they
felony.
could get on the guy.
And they've got him. But, I've heard of
You mean to
worse
tell
than
me
that.
they're wasting my taxpayers' money in Broward County, where I live, by processing and filing criminal charges against this kind of thing?
Well, that was easy. I know one fellow, he had a van, mind you, that's a strike against him. But he went through a red light, admittedly, and sitting on his other seat, the passenger side, there was, he thought it was quite legal. He had almost a toy. I don't think anything is smaller than a .22 Derringer single shot. And he's a felonious criminal. He went through 18 months of probation, cost him $1,000 for an attorney. And it was, of course, you go into court, and then it would be, transferred to next month and next month and next month.
I'm amazed that...
and he went through the court system.
You mean the cops and the sheriff's department and the
this was
various
Oakland Park
state's
Police
attorneys...
Department.
Well, wait a minute. Let me finish my statement. The cops, the courts, the state's attorneys or whatever they are up there, and the system can go through this. They're not so backed up with real criminals that we can mess around with non-criminal types.
Well, another fellow was driving a pickup truck at 3 o'clock in the morning and supposedly made an improper left-hand turn, which is a debate. He weighs about 150 pounds and is about 45 and prematurely gray. Now, 150-pound man, right? He gets out of his pickup truck and stands there, and 2 deputy sheriffs claim that he resisted arrest with force. And on the front seat of his car was actually a form of collector's item. It happened to be a 7mm Luger. Of course, 9mm is standard. A 7mm is a collector's item worth maybe $700 or $800. He lost that. $1,000 for an attorney, procedure after procedure, and he received a 1-year probation. He has to pay $35 a month and go down to the courts once a month to pay this money and go through his probationary period. Of course, the judges sort of take this seriously, but they realize that they're not dealing with criminals. This fellow has never been arrested. Both of these men have never been arrested before in their life. And this is a gun. It wasn't concealed, of course, because he thought it was legal sitting on the seat of his car. And this is where, the entire population feels that they're right when they're wrong. And the police
this is the real story. This is the
felony,
gunshot
and the minimum charge is $1,000, if not
Okay, listen, I'm out of time. Can you hear me? I'm out of time. Goodbye. All right, we'll be right back. Jeff Ray has the headlines, and then we'll have CBS News on the hour. And remember, the sky is falling. The sky is falling.
Stuck in traffic? Park your radio here and put your idle time to good use. 94 News WINZ, WINZ, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
94 News.